Hello, I hope all is well. So, in one of the recent polls, the Jagex official account builds actually failed the poll, and that kind of got me thinking about an account that I started working on nearly 5 years ago, and that's my 10 HP Ironman Pking account. Now, this is an idea I originally saw from Q watching his videos. He had an account that was quite a bit better than mine, but I kind of aspired to build one like that because it just looked like so much fun having a super low level account that would not gain combat experience in PvP due to being an Ironman. So I kind of put this video together. I made a series years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, just going through the building process of the account, and I kind of just compiled it into one video. I didn't want to make it super long. It's still going to end up being a little over 10 minutes, which is kind of long for me. But I wasn't going to make it full of like, here, I got 99 fire making at Wintertot, because nobody wants to see Wintertot. It wouldn't be an Ironman video, I guess, without Wintertot. But just kind of go through the journey I had building this 10 HP account. There's what's that 37 range coming in at the Hill Giants. So one of my first priorities was to get 43 prayer. I'm not that good, so I need 43 prayer to be able to do all the quests I wanted to kind of unlock progress in the game. One of the biggest challenges was going to be getting that initial 60 attack. So first thing I did was, well, get 99 fire making in Wintertot, using a lot of the money I made from that to try to finance a cannon, mine a bunch of iron and coal to make steel bars, made cannonballs to train my range up as much as possible. Now, I started at rock crabs, as I kind of showed in that earlier clip, just to get into the 30s. Then I did a few green dragons to try to get the bones and then hides for future crafting and money, but that was pretty inefficient at that level, so I switched to hill giants and used the big bones at the chaos altar to get my prayer up to get it to 43 as quick as possible. In the long run, I would need to get a lot of fishing done because barbarian fishing was going to be a primary method of strength training for me, and so I did have to knock out 48 fishing here. Also, along the way, I caught plenty of salmon. Now, since I'm not going to get higher than 10 HP, salmon was actually as good a food as any for me. Actually, the best was anchovy or pineapple pizzas, which I would end up making for PKings. Those would come in pretty helpful, but I would save the salmon and trout along the way. It's kind of silly that those were the best food, but they did the trick. So just kind of going through, knocking out some more of the quests, knock out all the quests that gave attack experience, so all the gnome ones, the fight arena, did the death plateau for the climbing boots. And this was actually a really important one here as I was looking to further progress the account. I needed to get this Karamwan Poison Spear, as I figured this was going to be my best chance at completing Shadow of the Storm, which I needed to ultimately get the Myth Gloves. Now, there was a lot of challenges I had to overcome. I did end up getting little bits of hit points experience here and there, but I did monitor closely how much I had to make sure I was not going to get 11 hit points. And so some of these quest bosses were actually very challenging with 10 HP. Some of them involved suiciding food. This one here, it was a matter of poisoning with the Karamwan Poison Spear and then using Rings of Recoil to do the majority of the damage. And so this kill probably took me about 15 minutes or so, and I would have gained maybe 4 or 6 hit points experience. What I've not included in this video, because I didn't want it to make it like a 20 or 30 minute video, I don't want to talk that long, I don't think anyone wants to hear me talk that long, is I died several times, many times on some of these bosses, especially getting the cannon set up on Desert Treasure. I died here on this one, on Horror from the Deep. I wanted to get that God book for the prayer bonus, but also ultimately I wanted the Bandos or the Zamorak book, which require completing plenty of clue scrolls to get those pages, but to give not only the prayer but the offensive bonuses. So this was a case of suiciding several inventories of pizzas, and the max hit on this guy I believe was a 9, so as long as I ate every time I got damaged, I was not going to get killed. And it was a matter of just Ring of Recoiling him down. I did have to do some damage. I believe I hit a wind strike at some point. But I remember looking, and a lot of these bosses, if not all of them, if you did all the damage by Rings of Recoil, it would not count it. So as an Iron Man, I knew I needed to get at least high enough herblore level to make super strength potions, which require a lot of herbs. So I did camp a little bit at the Elder Chaos Druids. It was pretty good ranged XP and also some decent herbs as I trained my herblore along the way. Had to knock out Temple of Ikov there. for some extra range experience. But training herblore was kind of time consuming, and also just general money making. So there's 70 wood cutting. I did eventually get 75 and beyond. I started making money with willow longbows, then maple longbows, then I got to use and Jagex, and making my own bowstrings, fletching the bows, and alking them was my primary source of money. This is Wilderness Slayer back here, back in 2017 or 18, I believe, with the mysterious emblem coming in. Made some decent money from Slayer. Most of the time I did just stick with Wilderness Slayer using the cannon. That worked out pretty well. There's 1,000 total level coming in. There's 60 magic coming in. Check out that Addy crossbow. Very nice. That was to boost my range bonus while I was using the cannon. So I did complete the easy diaries, I believe all or most of the easy diaries, and that was just to get, almost all the easy diaries that were available to me with 1 defense and also 10 HP. And I used those predominantly on attack because, again, that was going to be one of my biggest challenges, was getting that 60 attack. I was never going to need to get any higher. I thought about doing a 50 attack pure, but that seemed really challenging to get that granite maul without getting 11 HP. Also, grinding out 75 Slayer was no small task. But then the thought, if I lost it PKing, that would be just really frustrating. And when I lose Dragon Daggers, I just have to find a diamond to go buy a couple more in 30k or whatever. But working the attack, the quest got me, I believe, to 47. Got up to 49 with the diaries. And then I looked at other methods to train it. I got up to 40 combat, and then I tried pest control. I realized how much I hate pest control, particularly the low boats. I didn't mind so much doing the highest level, I guess, veteran for my elite void on the main. There's 70 fishing coming in, can catch the leaping sturgeon. It's boosting that strength XP to, I believe that was 10k an hour, maybe 8k an hour. It was mostly done AFK while playing on a main as well. There's the stats so far. So I settled on most of my attack training would eventually come from tackling organized crime. So this was added in Hosidius. So for those who aren't super familiar with this, and honestly I haven't done this in years, but basically these gangs will show up at different places across Corund at kind of predetermined times. It's different in different worlds. There's like spreadsheets out there that show you when they show up and where, and so you got to get there. And for me, I had to put a cannon down to do all the damage, but they have a pretty good chance of dropping these intelligence, which you can then trade in for combat experience. So that's how I got the rest of my attack from 49 to 60. I'm not going to sit there and show it all, but yeah, that was how I got to 60 attack, and also got some strength training done that way because I actually ended up kind of liking it. I would eventually run out of cannonballs and have to go make more, but there was Desert Treasure completed as well. That was quite challenging, getting that ice diamond, just having to get the cannon set in the exact right place. And this is going to be Mage Arena coming in for that Saradomin Cape. This is another one where I had to suicide inventories of like cabbages. So basically I would use a Ring of Recoil and Tick Eat, but I still had to do some damage with like a Wind Strike spell. So I did take a couple hit points experience there, but most of that damage was done from the Rings of Recoil. So there's thousands of bows to alch, and that was my primary source of money. And so a lot of times I would splash alch or tele alch, or if I was AFKing totally, I would just splash for a little bit. But there's 80 magic coming in. Starting to get ready with some of the PK supplies I need. So check out that Fashionscape. That is some pretty cool easy clue luck there. So I had to make a bunch of house teleport tabs. There's 81 magic coming in. So ultimately I did want to get to Barrage at some point, but a good starting goal was just getting to Ice Blitz. So there's going to be 82 magic coming in. So not only could I use Ice Blitz, but I could potentially use a Wizard Mind Bomb and Teleblock. So that was very powerful for this account. So here is the gear I would use just for rushing. I was getting ready to PK. There is my setup. I did get the Saradomin book completed, got the Mithril gloves. So no offensive bonus from the book, but still a pretty good prayer bonus. Using the strength amulet, sometimes I would switch it out for the power. I don't know, I'm kind of torn between the two. It was more whichever I had gems for, strength amulet, power amulet, whichever. But not much food, because basically I was either going to get the kill or I was going to get killed. There's the stats. I was going in with 72 strength. See that 82 magic. So the blitz into the dragon dagger was going to be the go-to method for getting the PK. I did get Guthix Rest as well. I got as far as I could in, I believe that's one small favor, to where I could make Guthix Rest and boost my hit points up to 15, which would not really allow me to take a hit, but it could at least let me survive some recoil damage, which was nice. So here it is. Here is the finished product, getting ready for PKing. So had plenty of nice kills once I got going with this account. All right, that is going to do it for my journey of building a 10 HP Ironman Pker. Thanks for watching. I do hope you found it interesting, and I do have some clips of doing some actual PK and getting some pretty good loot. So if you're interested, let me know, and I'll make a compilation video of that as well. Maybe if this video gets like 100 likes, I will put that together. It'll definitely take quite some time because I got to find them. They're not organized well, and they are buried somewhere on my computer, but I will find them if you guys are interested. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.